I wish I never came here, to the town of Fredericksburg. That much is certain. The roads are like ribbons of purest ebony in the night, absorbing every scrap of light. No matter how brightly you try to illuminate them, they remain dark, endless, and suffocating. The worst part? The town doesn't operate like it should. It bends, it shifts, and it hunts. Tonight, as the moon creeps lazily across the sky, I speed down the narrow streets, wary of every flicker of movement at the edges of my vision. At least I managed to obtain the book earlier today. Without it, I might already be dead. It's my one source of knowledge about Fredericksburg and the horrors that permeate it. Every page is filled with do's, don'ts, and cryptic warnings scribbled in hurried, uneven handwriting. Rules about the town, rules about the woods, rules about the moon. And though the book doesn't explain why these rules exist, it's kept me alive so far. I intend to follow it to the letter. The first rule I learned, always pay to keep the town's lights on. The glowing lamps lining the streets flicker sporadically, barely holding back the black tide of the surrounding nothingness. Without them, the town would be swallowed whole, and I'd be swallowed with it. When I moved here, if you can call waking up here without a memory of how I got here moving, a figure handed the book to me without saying a word. I couldn't make out their face in the dim light, but their bony, trembling hand pointed to a section about the lights. I didn't think twice. I now realize the book saved my life before I even understood the danger I was in. I can't think about that too long right now. My every thought must be focused on getting home. Ahead, the town begins to stir. Shadows, impossibly long and mismatched, whisper in the alleys and waver between the flickering flames of the streetlights. A sharp noise, half-human scream, half-animal howl, rings out, echoing in the emptiness. My skin crawls as if invisible fingers are brushing against me. I feel the fine hairs on my arms lifting, and the familiar prickling sensation starts to spread up the back of my neck. I suppress a shudder. I know what that means. It's a warning. If I don't stay moving, my skin will begin to stretch, pulling taut like it's being peeled inch by inch. I learned the hard way last time how serious that threat is. My hands still ache from the hours I spent sewing myself back together. My headlights catch the faint glint of something reflective in the distance. A faint hope flickers in my chest that it's just an animal. Please, be an animal. But then the lights turn red and blue, piercing the suffocating dark with frantic, strobing urgency. My heart leaps into my throat. A cop. Not all of them are dangerous. Some of them, according to the book, are just regular people trying to enforce mundane laws. But others, I pull the car over, my pulse hammering in my ears. The rules rush to the forefront of my mind. Don't stop if the lights are any color other than red and blue. Don't roll the window down unless they share their name unprompted. Don't run unless their body ripples as they walk, their shape barely holding together. Breathe. Just breathe. The cop steps out of their car, the crunch of gravel unnaturally loud in the silent night. My headlights illuminate their shape. It looks human enough. Uniform, badge, straight-backed posture. My chest tightens, refusing to relax. The figure strides closer, and I don't let myself blink. Watching for the ripple, watching for extra limbs. It keeps moving closer, and then I see it. The flicker. Not in its body this time, but in its face. Its features shift subtly every few steps, eyes migrating across the bridge of its nose like aimless insects. I slam my foot onto the gas pedal and shoot forward, the tires skidding before finding purchase. The cop barely reacts. No sirens blare behind me, no sound of pursuit. It simply turns and watches me go, its unfinished face twisting in what might have been amusement. I wish that was where tonight's terror ended. But the moment I cross the invisible threshold into the woods surrounding my home, I feel them again. The eyes. The book is filled with warnings about these woods, too. It claims the eyes belong to the hungerers, which is a name I could have done without, thank you very much. They stare, relentless and pleading, from every tree and every bush. I learned quickly that stopping in these woods is suicide. If I step out of the car, their gazes will latch onto me and never let go. Even when I leave, the hungerers would cling to me, burning the imprint of their dead-eyed longing into my skin until I'm as hollow as they are. I try to focus on the road ahead, on the faint pinprick of warm light in the distance that marks my home. The moon is high now, a pale predator in the sky. Its milky light feels colder than any shadow, and I know it sees me tonight. Sometimes it just watches. Other times, it comes closer. Last time that happened, it descended low enough to flood my car with light, its endless surface staring straight through the windshield as if to say, "I see you. I own you." I couldn't move. Even the smallest twitch seared my skin with an unbearable heat. Hours I waited, holding my breath as sweat soaked through my clothes until it finally grew bored and retreated into the sky. Even after all these nights in Fredericksburg, I'm not sure I'll survive if it ever decides to come close again. But I have the book, and the book promises an escape. "Write nothing but the truth," it says at the end of one of its chapters. "When the time comes, speak what you have remembered, and the moon will forget you." I don't know the author's name, though their hurried scrawl has started to feel familiar after all this time. Sometimes I catch myself wondering if they're still alive, scribbling out notes for the next poor soul trapped here. Other times I wonder if I'll ever be able to add my own advice to the pages. Tonight, none of that matters. I'm almost home now. The familiar gravel crunches beneath my tires, and the flickering porch light warms me to my core. I jump out of the car, force the door shut behind me, and sprint for the door. As I turn the lock, I feel the gaze of the hungerers snapping away. And when I step inside, the moon's light stops at my doorstep, like a rabid creature held back by an invisible fence. For now, I am safe. But my heart doesn't slow. I don't think it ever will again. I know that safety is an illusion in Fredericksburg.